che mamari nina. Tuda la ba. Kopana, lana, tula ba.
So the Alchemy of Remembrance, like what is it? How did it come about actually?
Yeah, so the Alchemy of Remembrance is an evolution of who I am and where I've come from.
Yeah.
And the podcast that I originally started was In the Know.
Okay.
Which was bringing everyone into the awareness of tools and techniques that we can use to better our lives.
Yeah.
So my main message is about how we can live authentically, how we can live our dream lives.
Yeah.
You know, I'm quite a, what do you call those idealistic dreamers that will always want the best for everyone and for everyone to do their dreams and to achieve their dreams and goals. But it's difficult, it's challenging for a lot of people.
Sure.
I've been on this road because I said no to 9-to-5 job or to working for the man.
Yeah.
So it's been challenging for me, and there's only so much I can show, maybe not financially right now, but my personality, my emotional state, the things that I know and things that I've gone through is showing that living your dream life is not all about the money, it's not all about these things, and that we can be happy.
Yeah.
And so the Alchemy of Remembrance is bringing all the tools and techniques and stories from other people and the sharing of information to bring us a little bit closer to remember who we truly are as human beings.
Yeah.
And from my lessons and my teaching, my tools, a lot of it comes from health and getting clean with the body. So when our bodies are clean, we can also, it just helps us. It assists us in spiritual growth and remembering who we truly are, because we become clean. We realize like all of these other influences and stories that people tell us, or the stories that we tell ourselves, aren't real. And then we can truly move past that and remember, oh, you know what, I do remember that time when I was a kid and I said I wanted to be an actor or something, and that can be real. And to tap into those remembrances of childhoods, of remembrance of our deep origin, which is our soul, which is who we are truly as a human being. And start to tap the potentials of what a human being is capable of. So when as I get cleaner, as we get cleaner through our diet and through things, we start to achieve more. And that achieving more realizes, oh, we're breaking boundaries. Oh, we don't have these limitations anymore. Oh, we can actually, this dream that we have, it can be real. I can actually make $1 million or whatever it may be. It's a long explanation.
But it's a perfect explanation of it, because it's like the thing about it is it's the most simple, complicated thing ever. Do you know what I mean? It's like the idea is simple, like the art of remembering who we truly are, and it's essentially like you get pushed out into the world through your mom's vagina on your birthday. Then in that moment you have all this wisdom and whatever that's come, and then, and as you grow up a little bit, you know who you are and you know what you want to be, and you speak about being a child. And it's just like, I want to be a fireman, and then it's like, you know what I mean, you know for a fact that's exactly what you want to do. But then it's like it gets cut by experience and a grumpy teacher. You know what I mean? It's just like, what happens if you really loved science and then your teacher's like, oh no, you're never going to be a scientist, or you're an idiot.
Or there's no money in that. Don't even bother.
Exactly. And it gets, and then it gets put through these other people's filters. And then as you grow up, that's why my favorite guy, I don't know who said it, but like, don't grow up, it's a trap. Do you know what I mean? Because
that's a good one.
because it's like you have an all kind of like unknowing when you're younger, and everything is just you just go for it. You just do your best. You just it's like someone, you know, they always like toddlers. They're never walking. They're always running.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Head feet, just running everywhere, wanting to live and experience life. But as we get older, it gets cut with all these other things.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying is about eating clean and looking after yourself and diet and breaking boundaries and all those things is the art of rediscovering who you are and what's good for you and what's true to you.
Yeah.
So that's why people said they have to find their purpose.
Exactly.
The purpose is really always within you, but you just have to then figure out how to get back to it.
Yeah,
really.
These cliches are the funniest thing. I've always everyone's like, oh, you just gotta remember who you are, or you are a divine being. Everything is within you. You know, all of these like spiritual woo things, but they cliches because they're true.
Yes.
But now the thing is that it's so challenging to really express the path of remembrance. So the path of remembrance is also the walking of truth, the walking of being a spiritual being as a human, and knowing that instead of walking through life, like making money or going to the next goal or whatever we want to do to manifest things materially.
Yeah.
But as a spiritual being or walking the path of remembrance, you are saying yes to opening up to more of who you are, to learning more, to growing more, to being open with more people and relationships, to do meditations and get deeper into your core purpose and what you want to do, and just live an authentic, happy life without any filters or boundaries of other people.
Yeah.
So when I say the alchemy of remembrance is because we want to bring stories of everyone, because there's so many different ways. There's so many different ways. You know, we these tools that we use are tools that will work for an individual. Yeah. Yoga may be good for like a young person, but what about an old person who wants to start and it can't be mobile? Yeah. Yoga is not going to be the right place to you know, truly remember who you truly are. Or health is not going to be maybe a path, because that's a very challenging and committed path. That only you have to have that mentality. You have to have that knowing. It's like if health isn't, if you're not affected by your health, then most of the time, like, you're gonna just carry on with what you want to do.
Yeah, you're gonna keep going down the Burger King, McDonald's route.
As long as you're doing good, Yeah. For me, it was that tipping point where I was like, yes, okay. Yeah. Change is happening. Yeah. And it's through these experiences that allow us to continue to move forward and continue to trust in this esoteric woo-woo, like fluffy stuff that people talk about, because that's the thing, is like we can talk about all of these things and we can talk about the amazing experiences we have, but it's all fluff and whatever until you experience it. But the alchemy of remembrance is wanting to share the stories. Us just chatting. What have we learned, what have we gone through. There was a time that you went through some challenge, and then you told us how you got through that challenge, and through that someone would be like, oh, but the same.
They resonate with it. It's the same vibration. Like, damn, that happened to me. I never thought about getting through it that way. Maybe I can try that. And it's just, that's what you're saying. It's like everyone is different, but there's also, everyone is different, but there's also commonalities as well. And I think a lot of people maybe who are wanting to get onto a path which is more conscious and maybe more spiritual and learning more about themselves, I would just suggest just try one thing. Doesn't have to be that daunting. So maybe pick the health. Maybe pick yoga and meditation. Maybe pick plant medicine. Maybe find a hobby that gets you into the present moment and allows you to feel good about yourself and allows you to feel like you're growing and you're doing something and you're developing and makes you actually happy, makes you feel good. Because I guess chasing experience isn't the right word, but I'm more about like just enjoying things. Do you know what I mean? Because I've through this path I've realized slowly but surely that actually you can have everything that you want. You can have all of it. You can have everything, but you just have to pick your battles. Really.
You do.
You know, you can't have it all at once, but you can actually, if you just keep going, you can get there. Do you know what I mean? You can have a good relationship. You can have a good job. You can do hobbies. You can do things that make you happy. It's just kind of like you say, remembering who you are, and then and it's kind of like the discipline. Because there's a quote by this guy called Jocko Willink, and he's a Navy SEAL, and he says discipline equals freedom.
Yes.
And it's true.
Yeah.
Because the discipline is just saying like, okay, well, because you've chosen to live this path and you want to do, it's like today I'm here and I'm doing a podcast. That means that I have to say no to other things, possibilities, because this is important to me and this makes me happy and this makes me feel like I'm growing. But then that is the discipline, and that is there in freedom. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Delayed gratification.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, you know, like the biggest thing that we can do is just accept that as spiritual beings, as a person who has said yes to walking the path of remembrance, we're always going to go through uncomfortable times.
Sure.
We're always going to learn and grow, and those are the times where it becomes uncomfortable because we're changing our things. We're changing what we have attached to before, or the life that we attached to before. So if we can accept, that we're always going to be changing, that we're always going to be learning, and we actually start ask ourselves, how can we make this fun, or how can we do this? Because ultimately, it's where I want to go. Yeah. So we just got to put that, that goal down, get that why, that deep why, and just keep moving forward one step at a time. Because life is long, actually.
Yeah, life is long. So, no, it is. It's both long and short, but it's interesting that you say that, because when you get onto this path, when you find this path, and there's I'm not saying there's a moment of a spiritual awakening and then there's a dedication, and then automatically then you're going to be dedicated or whatever. But once you've made that decision, the universe, God, the big spaghetti monster in the sky, whatever it is you believe, whatever it is, it's all the same thing. It's just different names and whatever. But as soon as you've commit, you've figured out what you want, and you know it, the universe is then going to give you the required resistance to get where you want to go. So it doesn't mean that now the universe is going to open up its legs for you and you're going to be able to freaking sleep with the universe and have a wonderful orgasm.
No.
She's going to play hard to get. She's going to play very hard to get. She's going to be coy. She's going to be difficult. She's going to give you the cold shoulder. She's going to get angry with you sometimes. You're going to get pissed off and you're going to crash your car. You're going to shout in traffic. You're going to lose your shit. You're still going to get angry. But but then that's a reminder of like, okay, this doesn't mean that I need to quit and stop. This means that I'm on the right path. So like the struggle that comes with what you want is really a good thing. It's a good indication that you're actually moving in the right direction.
Exactly. In the health world we call it hormetic stress.
Okay.
And so that's the healthy kind of stress, where it's stressing your hormones. What it's doing, like exercise stresses your hormones. Herbal teas and things, they help with that stress relieving and so forth. But when we go through that hormetic stress of pushing through the boundaries, we become stronger. Our muscles become stronger. Our hormones become stronger. Everything becomes. And so you can take it also into spiritual life and be like, these things are challenging, so that's good. And that's a good stress. It's good to feel like, sometimes when you feel like the universe is on your shoulders right now and you have to like change, evolve, or do something, otherwise financially you're going to be wrecked, emotionally you're going to be wrecked, what and that moment when you push through that and you feel that power, you feel that strength within you, that is when you can realize that the strength is within you, not when someone tells you, "Oh no, it's within you, bro. It's within you, dude. You can do it, dude. Go get it." No.
Every single time someone tells me that,
you ain't gonna find it that way,
bro. My life is difficult right now. I'm struggling, but it's like it's like I love that you say that, because it's just like it's that personal power and that personal sovereignty and that agency to say like, you know what, motherfucker, I got this.
Yes.
But I'm gonna have to put my big gold panties on, and I'm gonna actually have to gonna say no to this. I'm gonna have to push forward. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. But just if you just keep going, you just keep going, and then that's when you get kind of like you break through the murky waters and you're out. You know what I mean? Like, the rapid's kind of like but there's another rapid around the corner.
Yeah.
It's just like you just gotta keep preparing. And keep going. And keep going. Yeah.
So that's why I say acceptance is the biggest thing, because that'll just help us and assist us to just surrender into each and every challenge, so that we can, instead of because I also seen in myself a lot of loops being played. So we were talking about fasting and telling you all of these things. So through the health journey, we realize that all of these superfoods and all of these nice healthy foods are good for us. But at the end of the day, there's still some toxins in there. There's still some buildup if you're eating too much, and there needs to be a time of letting go of that as well, and just allowing the body to flow, releasing toxins, and moving forward. So I like to fast, and I've been playing around with different ways of fasting, and all of it's a discipline, it's a medicine, but I find that fasting is something that we have to accept as well. So when I say, okay, I'm gonna fast tomorrow, or it's Saturday, 7th day, I want to rest, so I'm also gonna rest the digestive system, or like on a full moon or a new moon, fasting to allow the moon to affect your waters within. You got to make that decision, and it's going to come around once a week or once every 2 weeks for the moon. And you just, I'm at that point where I'm busy accepting. Okay, today's the day of fast. Tomorrow, you can continue going and eat healthy and what, but it just helps me to break the pattern, break the structure, because even when we're eating healthy or whatever, we still have our little daily habits. Maybe we go to work, come back, make a salad, eat, or watch something interesting on YouTube that's going to
feed your mind.
Yeah. But that also becomes a routine.
Yes.
And that also becomes a thing where you get stuck into like a loop. You go to work, come home, eat, watch something enlightening, which is great. You're learning, you're eating healthy, but is that achieving your goals? So you got to keep constantly. That's why I like this little 7th-day break. Yeah. So I was brought up 7th-day Adventist, and never really enjoyed actually resting on the Sabbath and my phone got taken away, my TV got taken away, TV time, it's all about God and church and that. But now I'm starting to realize the benefits of it when it's not someone else telling me. Yes. It's like, okay, I had, worked hard this week. I'm going to take a break, focus on myself, focus on my soul, focus on whatever I need to do. So the next week is not going to be maybe not as repetitive, or like just review my goals, review what it is. And carry on.
It's like it's essentially like self-love and whatever. It's like treating yourself with some respect. Yeah. And I found that it's the way that we treat ourselves and how we interact with ourselves is a direct reflection of how we treat other people. The people that, there's another, I'm throwing out cliches like they're Skittles or whatever, but it's just like hurt people. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't know how to be treated. They weren't brought up in maybe a loving, caring environment, and they struggled to understand what love actually is, because they were never given the tools to actually understand that. So they don't know how to love themselves, and therefore they don't know how to love other people. But everything like fasting and exercise and eating healthily, and it's all of expression of self-love, because it's good for you. It fuels your soul. It fuels the person that you are, and it makes you happy, and it makes you feel better about yourself. But like you speak about the loops, and everything is good, but there's also even moderation is good. Do you know what I mean? It's like I get stuck in this pattern. I'm like, okay, cool, exercising, boxing, gymming, boom, doing all these things. I'm like, but then when you're doing really well at it, you're doing it for the kind of like the sole purpose, but then the ego gets involved. I mean, even like when I've been meditating for like weeks on end, and I've been like doing it every day, and eventually, and then like I'm sitting there and I'm meditating, and then my ego's like, look at you fucking meditate, look at you go, bro, you're meditating like a boss, brother.
What's it been like 2 weeks straight through? Well done.
And I'm like, this is not the purpose of this entire thing. You know, it's, like, it's just so funny how like you become, how like even that becomes even the good things sometimes can become you know maybe destructive. If you like I think of it as like a seesaw. It's constantly like a seesaw. So here's the pivot point, and then of the seesaw in the middle. And then sometimes you're running like to each one, like running from one side, running to the other. And then sometimes you just got two legs in the middle and you're nicely balanced. And then sometimes you're not, and then something can knock you off, and then you have to get back on. But it's like the more I'm living on the path that I want to live, and the more I'm doing the things that I need to do, the easier it is for me to jump back on the horse. I get knocked over, and then I'm up quicker. But if I'm not, and I'm down and I'm depressed, then I'm on the floor for a while. You know what I mean? And then that's when I get sick, and you know that's when you know the body gets more you know affected. I think. So it's healthy.
Yes, it is. It is. Keep going. So can you tell me a little bit about your story? How you? So this is kind of where I get the people to tell their stories, because there's always a moment, and sometimes for some people it's just like, you know, they just a normal person, and all of a sudden, boom, they just have a spiritual awakening, like in the middle of class or something. I know this one person that had, like, she was just in university, you know, busy doing a lecture, all of boom, spiritual awakening.
Wow.
So out of a body, you know, seeing everything, boom, back into a body. Okay.
Wow.
That was how she awoke.
Sure.
And then but most of the people these days, you know, it's very gradual. It's like it takes time. Some people don't even know where it actually started when you ask the question. But there's always something, and I would like to know kind of what happened for you, and how did you navigate through that to get to where you are now?
Well, I mean, like as a child and whatever, I kind of tried on. I mean, I had a bit of a difficult childhood. You know, it was like a bit of a struggle. And like while I was going on, and while I was younger, I thought, oh no, everyone has these problems. Everyone's got alcoholic fathers. Everyone's got a freaking abusive parents. That's just this is normal. Now I get older, I'm like, this shit wasn't normal. You know what I mean? This is weird. But but the thing is, as a result of that, I was kind of always trying to manage people's emotions and manage my parents and be like, okay, you're okay. I'm making sure everyone's okay. Then I'm okay. So it was just like, you know, I was like always like the fixer, and always like trying to figure people out, and so that, and then as a result of that, when I was younger, I was always I cared so much about what other people thought of me. So I was like, I had to have the cool clothes, and I had to have this, and I wanted to impress people, and I was doing a lot of things for other people. So I was living other people's lives and not my own. So and then I wanted to, but then I tried, and then as a result, I tried on lots of hats, as I call it. So it was just like, I was like the crazy party dude, and then I was the butch who did fucking rugby, and then I was the drinker, and then I was the sports player, and then it's just like I tried on all of these things, and then eventually I was just like, I got to a point where it was, I don't know, like 3 years ago, where I was just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know if I like this or whatever. I'm unsure if I'm actually even enjoying this. I don't know. I couldn't tell if I liked people. I couldn't tell if I liked myself. I couldn't tell if, you know what I mean? I couldn't even tell. For the longest time, I couldn't even tell if I was in a relationship, if I actually liked that person, because I just thought that's what, I don't know. It's just you know, because I was doing what they wanted, not what I did. And then I was just like, wow, I feel like I'm living someone else's life, and I don't know what I want to do. And it was at a moment where I was working with a friend of mine, and he used to run something called Better Man, which is like a self-development. And I've always been very into self-development, because I've always been looking for a way to get out of this hump, you know, that I always thought that I was in. And he was running it, and I got very involved, and I came on board and all that stuff. And then it was, and then at that time I was kind of, the whole plant medicine thing kind of came into my
field of knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. I started hearing about it, and it was very kind of business orientated and very kind of like hugely helpful to a lot of people. And I think that actually like he's done, and it was amazing work that we were doing,
like big CEOs and stuff that have.
It was more that it was more aimed at that type of thing. Yeah, it was all getting guys to that point, helping guys get to that point. But the thing is, I've never been a big CEO, so I can't really tell people how to get there. So I always felt like an imposter because it really wasn't me. I was doing it because of what I thought I should do, or what I actually wanted. And at that time, I was doing a bit of public speaking with it, and and also the whole plant medicine thing was coming in at the same time. And I wanted to do, and I was so deathly scared on stage. I got bad stage fright. I would freeze up. I would forget my words, even though I was completely prepared.
Yeah.
So as a kind of a black and white sort of extreme thinker, I thought to myself, what is the most difficult, most challenging thing I can do to get over my fear of public speaking? And I was like, oh, stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
so I could do that. Okay. So I did, and I did it stand-up comedy. I'm like, oh, I like this, because I'd always loved it when I was a kid, and it always helped me get out of like seasonal depression and that type of thing. Yeah, it always cheered me up. And I got on stage and I did it, and it was 5 minutes, and it was just a blank. I didn't know what happened. It was just like I blinked, I was on, and then I blinked again, and I was off. It was literally almost like a plant medicine thing. It was just like all of this rush of information, and what got me was that I've never felt so present and in the moment. Like as soon as I get up on stage, no matter what's been going on in my day, no matter what's happened, no matter the problems that I have with girlfriend, or what problems I have at home or work or whatever, it's gone, because I'm there to do one job very specifically, and I'm there to make people laugh. So it put me completely into the present. Yeah, and that was like that was the kind of the awakening of like, that's the most important thing, is like the present moment. Everything else makes no difference. Makes nothing. It's like you can't affect the past, you can't affect the future. You can only control what's going on right now. And because I'd always wanted control, and I was always trying to control things with my parents and how people thought about me, this was a liberating idea that like none of that shit matters, and you have no control over anything else except for what's going on right now. And then as a result of that, I'm like, I want to find the present moments and cultivate it and enjoy it and become and teach myself how to live in that moment. And then the plant medicine was obviously a channel that allowed me to do that, and then also deal with all the things in the past, so that I can be more present, because I've fixed a lot of the things that went previously.
Okay, so originally you're the comedian. Because you said you remember like when you were a child, and you used to enjoy like making jokes and stuff. So when you were an adult, and you're at this point where like you realize that, my whole life is just a bunch of other people saying whatever. Then you come to comedy, and you're on stage, and that's when you remember who you truly are.
100%.
Right? So that was the moment of remembrance.
Exactly.
And that's awesome.
It is. It's exactly like and I hadn't thought about it until you asked the question now, and then it just like all kind of like clicked in my mind. You know what I mean? It was also it was almost like all the files were taken out and then put into a perfect little Word document, and it just came out of my mind. That's what I'm saying, because it just came out like perfectly. But that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Because like when I remember as a kid, actually, my dad had a VHS tape of Billy Connolly, and it was like, 18, you call it, like, it's like swearing and it's all that stuff. And I was like 5 or no, I was like 8, 6, 7, 8 or something like that. And then I was like, they always used to buy VHSs, and we'd watch them together as a family. But this one I was never allowed to watch. And then I always thought there's something good in there.
Yeah,
there's something good in there. And then I watched it. I snuck down one morning and I watched it, and I was like, I don't even know what this guy's saying, but I'm just like, he's making people laugh.
Yes,
and that feels good. And as a way to control with my parents and all that stuff and other people, I'd be like, okay, how people are gonna like me if I'm people tend to like me if I make them laugh. If I'm funny, goofy, weird guy who says really outlandish shit, people are like, oh my god, this guy's so crazy, I like him. So that became part of my character. But it's not destructive.
It was always there from the beginning.
Exactly. What brought you on this path?
For me it was very So first of all, before that, I want to say
sure.
it's awesome and amazing to have that story, because people can now see. Sometimes all you need is just that one moment, that one moment where you were on stage, and that brought you in the present moment, which brought you back to your childhood and that remembrance, and just that key thing of comedian, opening up and being present, allowed you to go on your journey.
Yeah.
So that allowed you to take that one step.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. It's like it's that one step, but it's almost like that one step where it's almost like you've been planning a holiday, your dream holiday, for years and months, and you've been wanting to do this. But that one step is actually that step getting into the Uber, because you've got your plane tickets, you've got the hotels booked, you've got everything sorted. But it's just that step of like, boom, everything is happening right now. This is the first step for the rest of whatever. You know what I mean? It's like you've set it all up. Even though I had no idea that I've been setting this up for freaking 30 however many years. I've been it's like I've been learning, because the thing is, the art of remembering, you know, is I find that everything, no matter what, this allows me to let go and accept. Everything, no matter what, even if I make a decision again that I feel that isn't with my higher purpose, and I eat at McDonald's when I don't want to, or I'm like, and I slide back, or whatever it is still the right path for the journey that I'm going on. Yes. It's not a step backwards. It's not me losing everything. It's not the end of the world. The end of a relationship is a perfect catalyst for a massive change in learning, in experience, in forgiveness, whatever it is, whatever it is that you need, whatever it is that you need, you are getting. Yes. So it's just about the mindset of being like, this is good for me, even though it's cuck.
And that's the most challenging time. So that's why I like the Alchemy of Remembrance and podcasts like you, where you're talking about the real life stuff. So that when people just, gaze upon it, and then they're in that little slide back, and then they realize, oh, it's just a slide back. Yes. And once you realize that, once you are able to take that or that realization, that awareness, boom, then from there, you can take it further. And that's all it is. So, some people can slip in there for a while and then forget. So there's always a bit of forgetfulness, and we're always forgetting things, but then we come back to remembrance. Come back to our practices and stuff. So coming back to your question. Well, for me, it was a very gradual process. I was also like you, wanting to manage people, and I'm actually very much like you, because I was always that person that everyone liked, like I was a good oak, I was never, there was never anything wrong with me. I was very like just above average. Like not average where I'm a dull person, but like a little bit average where I can blend with everyone. And then I liked, as my ego liked that, and that's how I grew up. I grew up like wanting to please people, make sure everyone's okay. I was also, could also be by the jocks, I could also be by like the normal people, or like in different groups and friends and things like that. And so that did form a bit of confusion of who I am, because I was there always, my actions, my drive was in order to please people, or just make sure that they like me, or so there was never a step of like wanting to be extraordinary. Because if you're a little bit too much, then you're breaking that haters, all of that hard work that you did to make everyone like you. It's like you're someone's just gonna stay on that level.
If you get more spiritual, maybe the jocks won't like you. If you get more jockey, the spiritual people would like you. Know what I mean?
So you can imagine where my life would have gone. Just cruising above average. Getting a job, and just cruising on that level where everyone likes me. But I was doing that for a while, and then second year I was partying a lot, so still getting into the different groups. I want to please everyone. Let's go out, let's drink. I'm a cool guy, kind of thing. And it just got a bit hectic and out of hand for me. And then I failed everything in second year. Boom. First time I failed anything. So I was also one of those people that can get by with the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And I was happy with that. Because if I can, school, whatever, just get just whatever, pass. And then I can be with my friends, be the oak that everyone likes and whatever. And then it failed everything. So that really hit me hard. Because now what do? I'm gonna have to tell my parents all of these things, but they don't know. I drink and party and all of this because they trusted me to go live in university by myself with friends and stuff. And so it was a whole thing. And so I started to shift my life, and I was always into gymming, and so gymming was like the thing before my spiritual growth. So I started to gym to look good because I was also the small kid. So when I got into varsity, I wanted to get big. People would see me more than just, oh, he's such a cute guy. He's such a So I wanted to be likable and likable. So I was really, but my mindset of how I was gymming is like I was never like everyone else that would just take the information that they found on the internet and start doing that practice. Like I was diving into it, like going into the science, like figuring out the best ways to exercise, to really cut, get the shortcut. So I'm the lazy oak that goes the long way around to make something easy and quick. So actually not really lazy, but
lazy making hard things hard for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I had that mindset when I failed everything, and then I took what I learned and I realized, okay, this is not really health to eat so much protein or get your macros in and all of these kind of things. But I twisted it and started to, my goal was different. It was more about getting my health back because I was very tired. I was broken. Okay. Like now that I'm failing, I want to change my life, but I can't because I'm so broken. No. Like I'm physically cannot do anything, can't study, can't finish my exams and everything. So that's when health started to come into play. And then somehow I just fell onto podcast. Literally, I think it was one of the new updates of the Apple when it first came out, and I saw, there's a podcast and it just comes up on there. Yeah. And I checked it out. There's so many different things. Just started listening, growing, and learning, and a lot about self-help, self-development. Then health came into the play, and then it just went from there. And then the biggest catalyst was cacao, which is a superfood. At the time, I really only thought it was just a superfood. It's the number one longevity food. It's high in minerals, high in antioxidants, which is anti-aging because it binds to the free radicals that damage our cells. So it's brain chemicals. So it produces these feel-good brain chemicals and these endorphins. It's not for chance that chocolate is the number one food in the world. And that's that feeling state that we always want, but in its raw natural form, you're getting all of the benefits. Okay. You're getting all of the minerals, you're getting all of the antioxidants, you're getting all of the brain chemicals, and you're getting all of the heart opening. The heart opening, which I didn't even realize. My biggest thing was that cacao was a stimulant. It opened up your blood vessels. It opens up your blood vessels and delivers the medicine straight into your cells. It also, if you're not eating anything with the cacao, it brings in more oxygen to your cells to get you going. So it's a different way of stimulating than caffeine that just you just feel like you just want to do stuff. So it's more like your natural circulation system is activated in a more gentle way, and so you want to do more. And when I heard it was a delivery system, that's when I started getting scientific again and bringing in the herbs, bringing in the other superfoods. So it's like this one superfood put with any other superfood is going to be even better. So that's when I number one, cacao. Nice. And then all of a sudden, it was opening up my heart. Little did I know, because I was very still scientific and in this reality, in this world, that I need to change through my health. And
So you were looking at the biological.
Yeah, I was looking very much biological. I didn't know any about the spiritual stuff. I was reading a lot and learning, but that's what I was kind of searching for, is a spiritual experience. But I didn't know that cacao was actually
facilitating that.
The whole way through. And then, you know, it started to change my life in the physical, you know, like I got more energy, more momentum with what I want to do with my life, you know, continuing to learn into self-help, and then meditating and seeing cacao and the health benefits, really activating my meditation in a higher way. So not just like sitting there for 20 minutes, sit there for half an hour or whatever, full mind clear, or you know, that's when you get that addictive momentum, that healthy addiction, where you realize what you're doing is helping you, and you're seeing the benefits in the moment, and you just keep going with that. You keep going with that flow and that momentum. And then it just led me to wanting to make this cacao elixirs and things for other people, so they can start to go through this process for themselves and go through the alchemy of remembrance. But then something came in the back of my mind and said, cacao is a plant teacher. You need to respect that. So I was like, whoa, where's that coming?
It's almost like it was talking to you. It's like, hey, listen, it's divine. You got to treat this with respect.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, I had big plans. You know, big plans to get it in the market. You know, make money. All this stuff, which is it was a healthy way of thinking, because it was finally something that I was passionate about. But there was just something deeper that I needed to do before actually getting it all out. And so then I was like, okay, fine, show me the path. Show me a path. Show me the Cacao Shaman, which is called a Cacao Cucina. And this is a person that works with cacao on not just the physical level, but the spiritual level, and working with the spirit of the plant that brings the teaching. So when we talk about a plant teacher, basically there's all the plants, they all have wisdom and knowledge, but there are few ambassadors that have chosen to be teachers for us humans. And they are the master alchemists. They understand everything about life, because they've been on this planet for billions of years. And we like only a few thousand years on the planet. So we've got a lot to learn. We've got a lot to grow. But the plants, they've been learning all of what we learned way back when, you know. They're able to take photosynthesis. They're able to take sunlight and turn it into energy, into food. They can take carbon dioxide and make it oxygen. So they're master alchemists of being able to take raw material and turn it into something pure and sacred and beautiful. And that's what we're trying to do as human beings. We're trying to, or we are busy in the process of being a human, but allowing our spirit and our soul to express in this world. So we're unfolding who we are as a spiritual being, you know, expressing all of these things. Like you starting to express your funny nature. You're starting to express your ability to entertain and all of these different things. That's what this whole evolving or, you know, what people talk about spirituality. That's ultimately the goal. So these plant teachers help us to find the ways to do that. You know, they find the optimal way to take something like a challenge and turn it into an opportunity for growth, for example. And so, you know, there's ayahuasca, mushrooms, San Pedro, peyote, all of these different plants from different tribes all over the world, South America, Mexico, Peru, you know, and also in Africa we've got iboga. We do, and marijuana, which is all over. You know, so there's many different plant teachers that alter our state and allow us to figure out who we truly are. And by being in that altered state. So like we were talking about breaking patterns and habits. Plants do that. Plants
are the way that's going to interrupt that pattern, but it's going to be a it's going to sever it. It's not going to be a like nice gradual kind of thing. It's going to be it's more of like it can be a little bit harsher.
Yes,
you know what I mean. It's
especially so like if you're taking ayahuasca or mushrooms, what they're going to do is they're going to shift your mind. Literally, if we look at it from an EEG, they're taking your brain activity and they completely changing it. We have this network that our brain works with, a circuitry called the default network.
Yes, so default,
just normal daily life. You're thinking in this pattern, you're thinking in this way. You got to go to work, you got to do this, got to do that. And there's no time or change for reflection because we're beings of habit. So what the plants do is they change that state, change your brain state. Some do it with emotions, some do it with physical, brain chemicals.
Opening up new neural pathways, new connections,
And then we start to see things differently. We start to feel things differently. And for ayahuasca and mushrooms, what they do is they blast your mind open. Some people have all these weird experiences. I know you have, and we can go into it.
Sure.
About like all these like past traumas that you've seen, or you see your whole life in front of you, and you see all the stuff that you've done to people that are wrong, and those again are challenges, right? That are just coming to you so that you can say, okay, I want to change that.
Yes, exactly. But it's helping. It's more. It's almost like with regards to the alchemy of remembrance or facilitating remembrance, what plant medicine does is they often show you, it's almost like a film of all the things that you want to remember and that you need to remember.
Exactly.
And allowing you to be like, okay, sure, I remember those things. It feels crappy remembering these things. Being the person who maybe, I don't know, you were someone who cheated on a girlfriend, or maybe you were someone who was mean to that person because you were having a bad day, you were an asshole, whatever. Because everyone's been a dick. Everyone's been an asshole.
Yes.
No one is perfect. You know?
But sometimes we don't know that we're dicks.
Exactly.
So then that helps.
And then I was a dick that time. I don't like myself when I do that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I'm going to work really hard not to do that again.
Yes.
And then but you think, but why do I do that? Oh, I do that because I'm grumpy, because I'm not eating healthily, and I'm not exercising, and I'm not pursuing the dreams that I want to. And then it's like, that's why I say it's very complex, but the idea is very simple.
Yes.
But it's complex to unpack your crap.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
and then you can take that even one step deeper and be like, I'm not eating healthy, I'm not doing this, I'm depressed because when I was older, when I was younger, this and this happened to me, and that's causing this pattern. So it can go deep, and then it can go deep into your ancestral lineage, like alcoholism,
prenatal,
So there's so that's what you say. It's complex. It's layer after layer.
It's complex, but the solutions are simple.
Yes.
It's just like do the healthy eating, do things like find something that makes you happy, experiment with yourself. Because like I was had a conversation last night about this, and I'm like and we were speaking about it before, like these guys that I've been following, like the store parkour guys, and literally they loved doing parkour when they were in their they started in I think they started making videos about it when they were like 14 or whatever, and they were just learning or whatever. But they just like every single thing that they do, they just do it they just do it fully. They just give it everything. You know what I mean? And then it builds this kind of good momentum. It builds this because a lot of the times, personally, I think, and I'm sure other people experience this as well, that we have so much evidence for our past failures because we remind ourselves of this over and over.
Yeah.
But then if you're building momentum and you're doing the right things, then you're building actually positive affirmations telling you, oh no, but wait, I did these good things. I'm actually not as bad as I thought I was because look at how I'm changing. Look at how I'm doing. And that momentum is just like, okay, I'm good. I've got this. And you keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what helps with the plant medicines. They strip those layers and you can make those changes and you can go on with your life and use that momentum like you're saying. So cacao is a bit different. Cacao like I said, I can take it every day. I was taking it every day, so it's not like ayahuasca or mushrooms or even marijuana. At times, sometimes you feel like, okay, I can't have it because it's really shifting my mind. But cacao works on such a gentle level. What she's bringing is the medicine of grace and unconditional love. And the spirit of cacao is a handmaiden. It's a goddess, this female energy that is a complete mother, the real mother that unconditionally loves a child no matter what. You're making wrong decisions, you're hurting other people, she is there supporting you. Ish Cacao, the spirit of cacao, is there to support you. She's ready to hold your hand and just continue giving love. And they always talk about love will heal the world. But like, how's love going to stop the war from happening or whatever? But
it's the exact opposite of war. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Love your neighbor and not freaking shoot them in the face.
Exactly. So it's very subtle. It's not in your face, and that's why people don't realize the power of love, unconditional love. And so what was happening is Ish Cacao was opening up my heart to feel more of this love and to feel more of who I am, and open up my heart to allow myself to listen to what was my heart saying, because it's the mind where we have all the patternings of other people and the stories of other people and the what they keep, the influences all up in the mind. But if we go down to the heart, that's where the part of remembrance is. That deep little inner child, the inner voice that is telling you actually want to help other people. You actually want to have a podcast. You actually want to spiritually grow. So that's what it was going through my heart, and through time, I was unconsciously listening to my heart and allowing my heart to lead the way instead of the mind leading the way. And then that's when I got that whole thing. It's a plant teacher, you need to respect it. What? Found my cacao cucina, the one and only cacao cucina in South Africa. At the time in Cape Town, and I was there, and I was going to ask her, this is my journey with cacao so far. I've got so many ideas, want to do retreats and so forth. And so I decided to go meet her, see what's happening. And then she tells me, we start talking, we're having a good time. She tells me that she's a Sangoma.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, what's that? She's like, it's an African shamanism. So I say, yesy. So like, with my journey and everything and researching in science and what, you go down a path of researching, and you go down a path of like, one day you'll go through meditation or you read books or whatever. And something along the path for me came shamanism, what it's all about. And I was like really fascinated by this, and I was still searching for a spiritual experience, or like spiritual whatever. Did psychedelics and things, plant medicines in a not sacred way, just for the experience and feeling. And I could get those spiritual feelings or those ecstasy moments, but they weren't really like meaningful. But that's what led me to shamanism. What I said, okay, I want to know more about this. Then it's just like, synchronicities happen. That's how I met the Cacao Cucina. And then she tells me she's a Sangoma. And her name is Lauren Amy Hofmeyer. And her Sangoma name is Gugu Maria Magdalene. And so then we were just chatting. I said, okay, sign me up. Let's do it. But if anyone knows Sangoma, if anyone knows of like just people, everyone's scared. Because you don't know. You don't know what it is. It's saying yes to your calling, which is deeper than deepest, like saying yes to being service of mankind. Of really being a service to heal other people. And we often don't know what this may entail, but our souls, our spirit, it does. And there is a sense of resistance for a lot of people. where they know, like, okay, this is a deep commitment. Things may change like hectically, and that's what happens when you're saying yes to your calling. It's not about sangoma. Like, you don't say yes to sangoma, everyone, but another person will say yes to walking the path of remembrance, saying yes to being a better person. Those are all commitments that do have a deeper meaning, and if we have those mental patternings that are scared of change or whatever, that can hold us back. So, but for me, I was just like, yes, okay, let's do it. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Thank goodness I didn't have that mind playing in my head, because maybe I wouldn't have been where I am now. Because I was young, because I didn't know anything, because I was learning and wanting to learn. So I just said, okay, let's do it. So I went through the whole process, the initiations, and still, like, looking for a spiritual awakening or what, but it was all within me, like how I interact in the world and how I be in the world. It was very spiritual. It was always that way. And that's what I'm starting to remember and realize, like, oh, there's not actually anything different. It's just now I'm deciding to make a change. I'm deciding to be healthy. I'm deciding to put our podcast so I can share and grow, and that's what it actually was all about, this whole spiritual experience and things.
So the spiritual experiences led you to, it almost opened up the doors for everything else. And it's like, it just gave me a sense of from confusion to actually, okay, now I can take this step. Okay, now I can take this step, instead of being frozen. So it feels, but the thing is, but the steps that you are taking feels like they are coming from a place of heart opening and also soul, and it feels, oh, this is the right step. It's the knowing is there.
Exactly.
It's like, I understand this. Now this is the right path. I was speaking about this as well last night, and it's like the path of peace. It's a path of, cool, this is a struggle and it can be difficult, but it's like, this is an underlying sense of peace, an underlying sense of, no, well, everything is going to be okay. Even though there are moments where you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? And then maybe the programming comes back, but I like to gravitate to more, maybe because my life has been so chaotic, but I do gravitate towards people, interactions, things that do bring me peace. They don't stress me out. And don't stress me out insofar as the different types of anxiety.
Exactly.
So it's like there's anxiety that is because of, there's anxiety that's based on the fact that you're doing the things that are scaring you and you should be doing, like every time I get up on stage. You know what I mean? I get it's good, but it's a boundary that I'm pushing through to be better. Or there's then there's the anxiety and stress of living in fear, of fear of what's going to happen in the future, and fear of where, and then it's like living in the past and living in programming and what they call being triggered. Do you know what I mean? And that's the one that's you also have to push through, but then maybe it's guiding you in the right direction.
Then you know not to go that way.
Exactly.
Exactly. So there is that subtle difference, like you're saying, but I think that knowing
guides you.
Guides you. So even when you're anxious, but you know you need to get up on stage, that's the right anxiety. And
and then also, it also comes from knowing, like, you're anxious and you're doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing, and then there's a thing telling you, like, maybe you should stay at home today. Maybe you shouldn't go out. Maybe you shouldn't go see that person or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But the thing is, it can be tricky because it's the same feeling. The feeling feels the same, but it's getting past whatever that feeling is and then getting to the place of truth that allows to guide yourself, I think.
Cool, man. So let's start bringing this home, because now we unpacked everything. Now we're going to alchemically repack it all so that we can just get some few nuggets that we can bring home for everyone. So I think one of them is we should eat more cacao. Because even if we are not understanding this whole path and what it's all about, just having cacao to open up our hearts. Gradually we can to remember who we truly are. And
also you can take it every day. You can't take ayahuasca every day.
Exactly. And is there anything else? I think accepting that the path of remembrance is a path of constant change and growth, and they open up to realize there is challenging times. There will be challenging. We must expect that. And having a deep why.
Having a deep why is very important. I definitely. It's getting up on stage and for me is cool. But like friend of mine said something very profound about this, and he's he facilitates medicine and he works a lot with San Pedro and stuff, and his medicine is delivering the medicine. Like you're also like the shaman of cacao, and your why, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it comes from a deeper spiritual place of this is a superfood and how it's going to help you because you know how it's changed your life and affected you, so that you are therefore imparting that knowledge. You're almost like it's like the plant imparts the knowledge, but you are the facilitator, the conduit. And he is the same as that. So that's his medicine. His medicine is that, and bringing that into the world and helping people. And he said to me, he's like, comedy is medicine. But laughter is the best medicine. If people can come to a show that I'm on, and then I can make them forget about the fight that they had with their girlfriend in the car on the way there, forget that they've got bills to pay, forget whatever, and just bring them into the present moment and bring them into my world and give them a little bit of escape. Then it's I've done my job. So that became my why, not just like I like comedy. And that was me finding my why. And so like bringing that full circle is, I think, find your medicine. Search deeply for your medicine, which comes with the why. Whatever medicine and where you can be of service to other people. It's like you're doing it for yourself, that's ego. But when you can transcend that and be like, I'm doing this to help other people, it kind of calcifies and solidifies it, and it grounds it. And then also like something else I'd probably say is, find that thing that will always ground you, but then with regards to picking a practice, find a practice that you can always come back to, whether it's yoga, whether it's healthy eating, just one that will always ground you. Mine is meditation, personally. And sometimes I won't meditate for a couple of weeks, but I'm generally quite good at it. But then it's the last thing to go, but it's always the first thing I bring back. It's the first thing I bring back because I know it's going to ground me. It's going to bring me back down.
That's nice.
Whatever, just find your one thing. Maybe for you it's the cacao, you know what I mean? And then or someone else, it could be yoga or running, or it doesn't have to be something particularly spiritual. It's just whatever's important to you. I mean, running meditation is a thing. Runner's high is a thing. You know what I mean? It's just like if you enjoy it and you've forgotten about it, and then you need to remember that again. I'm like, oh, this is the thing. It's again the art of remembrance. The Alchemy of Remembrance. It's like life is not this linear, straightforward path where everything's going to give you up and up and up. It's messy and it's full of rocks and it's just up and down and round and about. It's like a roller coaster.
Remembering.
Exactly. So like I'd say like the biggest thing is like for me it's like finding the one thing. The one is your why, and then the next thing is the one thing that grounds you. Because then that's like a toolbox.
Those are two anchors that just keep you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool, man. Thanks for
a lot,
doing this, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was awesome.
We got it good this time.
We did. We managed.
Nice.
Thanks, man.